All right, it is Sports Week. I'm Tolu, he's Dan. We're looking at the Premier League this weekend. Huge games to look forward to. If you take out Liverpool and Newcastle United, Tottenham against Manchester City is the huge game this weekend. Spurs, and they're under fire manager Thomas Frank. They picked up a big win in midweek in the Champions League. They finished in the top 8. City only just managed that feat. City going for the title against Arsenal, 4 points behind the Gunners. They can pack up the pressure. Arsenal play, I think Arsenal play earlier this weekend to City, who play, I think, on Sunday. City go to Spurs. Spurs have that tendency, though, Dan. They can turn it up against the big teams.
They certainly can. They seem to have the number of Man City over the last few seasons. They won at the Etihad this season. I think back in September, they beat them 4-0 last season, a surprise win under Ange Postecoglou. So it is fair to say that Tottenham are Man City's bogey team. However, this is not the Tottenham of even back in September. The kind of optimism that was under Thomas Frank to start with is completely dissipated due to the run of results in the Premier League at present. No winning 5. Yes, you are right in saying that they are in the top 8 of the Champions League. They're almost like Jekyll and Hyde at the moment. Fantastic in Europe, far from fantastic domestically. You only have to look at their draw at Burnley last weekend. It almost felt like a defeat, even though they got a last-minute goal in that one to salvage a point. But it doesn't feel like it's enough for Thomas Frank. It just feels like 1 step forward, 2 steps back at the moment. I don't know if you remember, what was it, 2 seasons ago, very late in the season, Man City had to go to Tottenham. There was that dilemma where if Tottenham won, it would all but hand Arsenal the league. But then if they didn't win, they let Man City win. That would help their chances. And, what was the right thing to do, in inverted commas? There was jeopardy there, obviously, because Tottenham could have still finished in the top 4. There's no jeopardy this weekend. There's no real dilemma. It's a case of what Tottenham can turn up. More importantly, can this Tottenham team find a first league win in 6 matches?
That's a huge question. Can they find a first win? For City, though, you always feel like you watch them one weekend and you think City are back, and then you watch them another weekend and you feel maybe not. What's your feeling about this City team? And if there are venues where they can really be exposed, does this Tottenham team, even though they're not at their best, do you still think that they can worry the City team? And which City team do you think will show up?
I mean, Tottenham could lay a glove on them. It's happened in the past. You never know what Tottenham team are going to turn up. So that's the kind of mystery about it and the intrigue. From a Man City perspective, they won at home to Wolves last weekend, and you can say, yes, it's only Wolves, the bottom of the table, but this is a Wolves team with a slight bit of momentum, and also Man City hadn't won in 4 in the league up until that point. Add that to the fact that then Arsenal lost the following day, and it just feels that Man City are refreshed again. So if they are to wind in Arsenal, they can't keep stuttering now. They've got to go for it, and they've got to sort of say, right, this is the line that we're drawing, and this is where we're going to motor on like we do most other seasons. So I feel if they are to genuinely make a fist of this title race, they have to win in North London at the weekend. And I've got a feeling, knowing Tottenham as I do as a suffering Spurs fan, I think they will.
All right, so let's put our betting caps on for this one then. Where's the value first up, and where are you going with this one?
Well, I'm going to go a bit different this week, Tolu, because usually we kind of base it on a match result or a score. I'm going to go with a focus on the centre-backs of Tottenham, because if you look at the performances of Christian Romero and Mickey van der Ven, not only have they been solid hands at the back, they've also been quite handy in attack. If it weren't for them, I fear for where Tottenham would be. They might even be in the bottom 3 by now. So I'm going to back either of them to score, and you can get about 10-1. So I think Romero's scored 5 or 6 goals, Van der Ven 7. So I think that's a fair price. That means that City could win 2-1, 3-1. So I'm not going to sort of go for a City win because I don't think there's value there. But I like the look of one of Tottenham's centre-backs scoring. So either a Romero or Van der Ven goal at roughly 10-1 is my pick.
I've written that down. I'm definitely going to look at what value that has. Thank you very much, Dan, as always.
Cheers, Tolly. Thank you.